Hi, my name is Catalina and this is my project idea. So as you probably heard from my previous introduction video, my background is in forestry and all I care about is forest. As part of my job, I have to provide advisory to governments, private investors, but also communities on best ways to monitor their forests for them to monitor emission reductions and emissions coming from deforestation or from sustainable forest management or forest enhancements, etc. This is all about climate change and the role of forests in combating climate change. So normally my job relies a lot on performing forest inventories at the national or even project level. And as part of these inventories, crews need to be trained to measure trees on the field. So basically people needs to go to specific plots and measure the height of the trees using different equipments, but sometimes they rely on visual interpretation, which is associated to high uncertainties. But also people will have to measure DVH. This is the diameter of the breast height of the tree. And then based on these two measurements, using different equations, one should be able to estimate volume and biomass. And with these values, we should be able to understand the carbon fluxes of the forest, see the impacts of agents and drivers of deforestation, and see how different forest management activities can reduce the amount of carbon dioxide that is released to the atmosphere. So as I was saying, this all relies mostly on very expensive and time-consuming data collection on the field, which basically relies on a sampling design because, of course, you cannot estimate the volume of each tree in a forest. So once you define your sampling design, then you need to go on and select your plots, and then you need to go into the field and install the plots. There are different types of plots, but permanent plots are usually the most used ones. And so people has to go to those plots, measure the trees, and come back to those same plots over time to get comparable results. And based on that, estimate the different statistics to get volume estimates for the entire forest. This is, of course, quite expensive, needs a lot of training. Sometimes it's very difficult to access the forest. Sometimes you rely a lot on weather. If it's raining, you cannot go, etc. And sometimes to estimate biomass, then you need to perform a destructive sampling. That means chopping down the tree and then drying the wood and taking it to a lab to estimate carbon. So this is all a little bit complicated, but it's what has been done so far. And so right now there are different studies out there saying that by using LiDAR, we can kind of remove the need from forest inventories and basically just obtain the height of the trees and even the volumes of the trees directly with LiDAR. As of today, I don't fully understand how this is done with LP360, but I know it should be possible using the spaceborne LiDAR data and then somehow measuring the height of the trees and possibly directly the volume. So my plan is to use LiDAR data to assess the height and volume of the trees that are located at the U.S. Marine Corps War Memorial, which is really close to my house, only a few blocks away. And I think this is good because I can also check visually if the height that's measured with LiDAR is actually comparable with the reality on the ground. This park is not bigger than 0.1 square kilometers approximately. And to do so, I'm planning to get data from the US Global Survey I already identify a few data sources coming from the Virginia state municipality, and it also includes the metadata. So this is what I'm planning to do. I'm happy to hear your thoughts, questions, and if you are doing the same thing, please let me know. Thanks.